Hello, welcome to 1500ESPN.com. I'm Derek Wetmore. This is Matthew Collar.
Howdy.
I don't know if you can really see us because we're outside and it's sunny outside.
Great day.
Right out in front of the Vikings practice facility, and that's the ship.
There's a ship over there if you've never seen it.
Matthew wanted to do the video in front of the ship today, so we're going to do that.
Love the ship.
One of the things that we're going to talk about, and you can direct me if there are other things we got to get into too, the mystery. The mystery of who's starting at quarterback for the Vikings continues into the middle of the week. Packers head coach Mike McCarthy says he's expecting it to be Sam Bradford, like the rest of the world, but Mike Zimmer is unwilling and uninterested in sharing that information, as is his right. Matthew, based on talking with the two quarterbacks today in the locker room, who do you think is starting for the Vikings?
Well, I'll play the role of both quarterbacks. You're going to have to ask Coach about that.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm not sure if you could see my eye roll, but I don't know how the quarterbacks have not started rolling their own eyes at this question being asked every day.
Yeah.
Though I will give Sean Hill some credit. He was asked, "Hey, Sean, when did you find out last week?" And he goes, "Well, at some point during the week."
Yeah.
Veteran move, Sean Hill.
Right, for
Veteran
sure.
move. But I think that everybody believes that Sam Bradford will be the quarterback. But there's only one scenario that I could see where they go back to Sean Hill, is if Mike Zimmer, who's kind of old school in his ways, says something to the effect of, "Well, I didn't want to change after winning."
Yeah.
But to me, that would be insane because they didn't even score a touchdown on offense.
Right.
So it's not like you could say, "Boy, Sean Hill lit it up for 400 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's got to play again." No, I think this is the right time. And the one hint that we got, if we're playing the game of Clue here, Sam Bradford did talk a lot about how much he's learned over the last week and how much more comfortable he feels.
Sure.
So he's sort of insinuating, "I'm ready to go, guys."
Yeah, and the other part of the problem is zero offensive touchdowns is bad. Not all on Sean Hill, because I'm not saying Sean Hill played great, but he also didn't harpoon the Vikings' chances. Adrian Peterson was not good on Sunday, and some combination of Sean Hill plus Adrian Peterson plus the Vikings' offensive line. There's a big recap on 1500ESPN.com
Offensive line.
on the Vikings'
New guy,
offensive line.
Arif.
Yeah, Arif Hassan with a great detailed breakdown of the Vikings' offensive line play on Sunday, both in pass blocking and in run blocking. A long way of making my point that the Vikings' offense just was not very effective with Sean Hill at the helm, and part of that was Peterson, part of it was the offensive line. In what you've seen in the film of Sam Bradford, analyzing him with the Eagles and such, how will he change that dynamic? Is there a big difference in your mind between Sean Hill and Sam Bradford vis-a-vis how Peterson would play with them?
Yeah, I think that there is a big difference between Sam Bradford and Sean Hill in that Sam Bradford's way better than Sean Hill.
Sure.
Is that not getting enough football X's and O's for you?
Yeah,
I mean, there are just so many more things that Sam Bradford can do, and one of them is move with his body.
Right.
Sean Hill pretty much has to get the ball out quick. I saw one of the comments to Arif's piece on the offensive line was, "Hey, there were no sacks." Well, I understand there were no sacks, but that's because Sean Hill has to get the ball out on a 3-step drop or just really quick, or he's pretty much dead in the water. Well, that is not the case for Sam Bradford. Bradford can move around in the pocket. He can buy himself time, and he can do well with passes a little more down the field. And actually, Sean Hill did a good job with some of those on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I think you're facing a different caliber of defense with Tennessee. And I do think that Sam Bradford, in terms of getting the ball out quick, his release, I was watching them in practice. I mean, there's just no question how much harder he throws the ball than Sean Hill and how much faster he gets it out. And with short passes last year, Sam Bradford was really effective. If that's what they want to do against the Packers, then Bradford, I think, would be a much better choice. Though I will say, I didn't think Sean Hill, for what he was asked to do, what the expectations were, did a bad job at all. I know they didn't get in the end zone, completed some key third downs, and basically didn't ruin everything.
Let me ask you, based on something, this question comes straight from a press conference on Monday, in which Mike Zimmer said, so he was asked specifically about, okay, well, opening the new stadium in Packers, how much does that weigh into your decision? And he played the role of good company guy, because this is what the Vikings owners would want him to say. He said, yeah, that all factors in. I've thought about all of that. He said he even thought about that before the decision at Tennessee. Next week, we're opening a brand new stadium against the Vikings' arguably biggest rival. I would argue
on Sunday Night
rival.
Football. Too.
It's a big game.
Yeah,
let's. I don't mean to belittle the significance or the importance of that. What I will contend is that should not matter. Would you agree with my point there that Mike Zimmer just has to make the decision for trying to beat the Packers?
Well, just judging by other NFL teams and how much it matters, we saw Case Keenum start for the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams are back.
Yeah.
New franchise vigor, and we're going to start the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
No, Case Keenum. So it's pretty clear that these teams do not care at all about that sort of stuff. Yes. But I would say that it's the opponent that would matter the most. Against Tennessee, you look at them and you go, all right, we don't have to do anything crazy here.
Sure.
We could throw out this very capable backup quarterback, which is how I would describe Sean Hill, to play one game, just do enough against a team that we don't believe is that good. You're going against the Packers. Mike Zimmer mentioned it. A lot of people are picking them to win the Super Bowl. They have Aaron Rodgers.
Present company included.
Right. No matter how good the Minnesota Vikings defense is, Aaron Rodgers is going to score. So you have to get in the end zone this time around. You can't go with Sean Hill and just hope your offense is just good enough. Sure. It's going to have to be really good in order to beat the Packers. And I think that's probably your number one factor, way over where you're playing, and it's a new stadium. People forget that no matter what. I mean, the stadium is probably going to be there a while.
Yeah. Well,
and they're going to fill it, right? I mean, people are going to go to the stadium. They're going to fill it. They're going to play lots of national TV games as we go along.
Sure.
It's not really so much about that as this is a big game against a team that it's pretty much you and them for who's going to win this division.
Fun fact, and I don't actually know if you'll have any fun with it, but when I used to play NCAA football, video game, I was the Houston Cougars. I picked their team and built up a franchise. We were a dynasty. It was a powerhouse, man.
I got to say, that's one of the most fun things about that game is taking a team that would never have any chance in the world.
Right.
For me, University at Buffalo.
There you go.
Any team that would have no chance to ever, I mean, teams that don't even win their conference to win.
Well, I mean, I could have picked the Gophers. As a former Gopher, I could have picked the Gophers, but I wanted to be realistic about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see a team that actually had
so
a chance.
Case Keenum or number 7 or whatever would have been your guy, right?
Yeah, it was good times. So see, that was a little fun. I had some fun.
No, that's true. Is that game still around? I thought they killed that.
I don't play as much video games anymore. I'll be honest.
We have jobs.
Yeah.
Like this, doing really important stuff, like standing in front of a ship.
Doing things and stuff with that. If you like the ship, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Derek Wetmore.
Or if you don't give a ship. More jokes like that on my Twitter.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's at Matthew Caller, but you might just want to block and unfollow his account now. Save yourself the time. Thanks again for coming to 1500ESPN.com. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get all of these fun videos just sent right to you. You won't have to do anything. It's
fun
great.
In your hand.
So do that. 1500 ESPN Twin Cities on YouTube, and we'll check you after Sunday's game against the Packers for more. Thanks for watching.